Question number 21. What are the characteristics of Qadiani men and women, or how they can be recognized when they conceal their identity? The apparent characteristics of Qadiani men involve wearing a ring on their hand on which a verse from Surah Al-Zumar, verse number 36, is inscribed. This translates to Is Allah not sufficient for His servant? They also wear a cap which is similar to a jinnah cap but shorter in length. Typically, the cap is worn by Qadiani Murabbis preachers. Qadiani women are recognizable by the way they wear their veil. They keep their veil below the nose, not covering the forehead. The veil for the rest of the body has three layers, with slits for the both right and the left side, and one at the back. They wear a belt around the waist and use a light collar on sleeves. However, when Qadianis live in areas where there is a significant population of Muslims, they tend to conceal their true identity to fit in, build relationships, and survive. In such situations, recognizing them can be challenging. The primary way to identify them is through discussions about the belief of finality of prophethood, its details, and the objections raised by the Qadianis. When you discuss the concept of the finality of prophethood and elaborate on the finality, the objections, and the incorrect beliefs of Qadianis, they will react in some way. They may change the topic, object to your assertions, or argue against the Muslim scholars, stating that the Qadianis were declared as non Muslims due to the pressures of religious leaders of that time. Thus, some reaction or response from them will make it apparent that they are Qadianis. This is the most effective and straightforward way to recognize them when you are in a gathering or a meeting, as they will respond in a manner that makes you realize that they are Qadianis. Question number 22. Why do Ahmadis refer to themselves as Ahmadi, or why do we call them Mirzai or Qadiani? We call them Qadiani because Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, whom they believe to be a prophet, was from the town Qadian situated in India. So they are called Qadianis in relation to the area. We call them Mirzai because the person they consider as their prophet belonged to the caste Mughal Ballas. So they are called Mirzai due to the Mirza Ghulam Qadiani's lineage. However, they call themselves Ahmadi because the person they believe in was named Ghulam Ahmad. Since Ahmad is coming in his name, they call themselves Ahmadi due to the relation to the name and call their community Jamaat Ahmadiyya. If you come across a Qadiani and you tell him or her that you are a Qadiani, he or she will say, I'm not a Qadiani. If you tell him or her that you are a Mirzai, he or she will say that I am not a Mirzai. If you tell him or her that you are an Ahmadi, they surely will say that yes, we are an Ahmadi, I am an Ahmadi. They don't call themselves Qadiani or Mirzai. They do not consider themselves Qadiani or Mirzai. They call themselves Ahmadi. Question number 23. Why do you boycott Shazan's products when you don't boycott other products of non-Muslims? As you have seen and read in the session, there are three types of disbelievers: common disbeliever, Aam Kafir, apostate, Murtid, and heretic Zindiq. The instructions of Sharia change with these three. For example, if you look at the laws which describe punishment in Pakistan, the punishment for a thief is different, the punishment for kidnapping someone is different, the punishment for a murderer is different, the punishment for a fraud is different, the punishment for a terrorist is different. Basically, all of these fall under the category of criminals, but their punishment would be different based on the nature of the offense. They will be punished according to the crimes they have committed. Similarly, all of these three types will be categorized as to be disbelievers, but Sharia has ordered different modes of dealing with them. For example, the first type is the common disbeliever, who relates himself to his or her beliefs, his or her ideologies, and relates Muslims to Islam. It is permissible to trade and to deal with such a person, but as Muslims, we cannot have a heartfelt love and relationship with these people. Second type is apostate, murtad, refers to a person who was a Muslim by birth and in adulthood left Islam and adopted another religion. So, order for him or her in Islamic Sharia is that the Islamic government will imprison him or her and Islam will be presented to that said person and answers to the objections will be given. He or she will be given respite for 3 days. If this individual returns to Islam, then he or she will be forgiven. And if he or she refuses to leave the un-Islamic beliefs, then the Islamic government will execute that individual. The third type is the heretic, Zindiq, who calls him or herself a Muslim despite being a non-Muslim and calls the Muslim as a non-Muslim. Now you decide whether Qadiani is a common disbeliever or a heretic Zindiq. So now it's clear to you that Qadianis are not a common disbeliever but are heretic Zindiq. and there can be no business dealings, moral, and social relations with such an individual. If we explain further, Qadianis are heretic, Zindiq, because they call those who believe in Prophet ﷺ as non-Muslims and those who believe in Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani to be Muslims. That is, they call disbelief as Islam and Islam as disbelief. And they also are non-Muslims because they insult the Prophet ﷺ, because they consider Mirza Ghulam Qadiani to be the second Muhammad and superior to the Prophet ﷺ. These two aspects of disbelief are found in them. One is blasphemy of the Prophet ﷺ and the other is the heresy Zindiqiyat. Now you decide for yourself whether the order of the common disbeliever will be applied to them. A person with a little bit of intellect, sense, conscience will understand and admit that they are not common disbelievers because the common disbeliever is not accepting your Islamic ideologies and beliefs. So his or her case will be different, and the one who is insulting you, your religion, your book, your prophet, his or her case will have a different result outcome. The same order cannot be for both individuals. So we say that Sharia has allowed business with the common disbelievers, but Qadianis are blasphemer of the Prophet and a heretic Zindiq. So no business dealings, relationships can be kept with them. Also, they give their 16% of their profits to the Ahmadiyya community, Ahmadiyya Jamaat, which uses it against the Islam and Muslims to make Muslims murtad, to make Muslims apostates. It is the duty of the government to completely eliminate them. However, this is the work of the government. Our responsibility is only to boycott so that our money is not used against Islam and Muslims. And this is the reason we boycott the Qadiani products and ask you to boycott them as well.